One question that I hear parents ask frequently is, how can I know if my child has autism or is on the spectrum of autism? And the answer is really a complicated one, because there are specific criteria for autism spectrum disorder. And if a child has 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the criteria, that doesn't mean that they even have mild autism. That just means they happen to have some obsessive compulsive tendencies. And all children with obsessive compulsive, with autism, happen to also have obsessive compulsive tendencies. So just because a child might have 3 or 4 or 5 obsessive compulsive behaviors does not mean the child meets the diagnostic criteria for autism. The diagnostic criteria for autism is internationally agreed upon by the World Health Organization and the American Psychiatric Association in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual that assesses all mental health conditions. And they're all determined by specific behavior. So if a child meets enough of the behavior that are in the diagnostic criteria for autism, then the child can be identified as either mild, moderate, or severe autism. If the child does not meet the diagnostic criteria, then even if the parents think the child has autism, a competent healthcare provider cannot, in clear conscience, say the child has autism. Now, I've heard some people say that they went to a pediatrician and the pediatrician said, "Oh, your child has mild autism and it'll go away eventually." This is just impossible. Autism spectrum disorder is for life. It will never disappear, no matter what kinds of treatments are involved. It cannot disappear. So it's very important to get an accurate diagnosis as early as possible. So what's as early as possible? By toddlerhood, if you suspect your child has autism, then you need to get the diagnosis immediately so that you can start intervention. I can give you an example. One of my 6 children had heart surgery when he was 6 months. He developed oxygen deprivation from a mistake by the surgeon during the open heart surgery, and then developed autism. Now, that oxygen deprivation is the most common cause of autism spectrum disorder. Now, all kinds of things can cause oxygen deprivation. Low birth weight, some complication during pregnancy. But whatever the cause of the oxygen deprivation, an expert needs to assess the child and look for the behavioral criteria for autism spectrum disorder. If the child does not meet those basic criteria, then the child does not have autism. Instead, it's some other condition. Thank you for listening.
خدي هي القصة هذه هي القصة. يلا أسراء اختاري قصة. انت خدمتي حيوانات البحر. يلا أنا رح أقعد أسراء قصة